Hey everybody, it's Dr. Levi with your show, The Dr. Levi Show. Today is June 7th, 2017. Absolutely phenomenally beautiful, wonderful day here in Los Angeles. As I was driving in from the valley, it was like, wow, sometimes I just can't believe I'm in LA and how much I love this city, but more importantly, how much this city loves me back. So I hope wherever you are today, you're making it a phenomenally wonderful day. We have a lot to talk about, and I'm going to start right now. I really think we have to give a major shout out, kudos, and applause to Ariana Grande. What a phenomenally compassionate heart that she has. What a big heart that she has. To go back to a place where there was this tremendous tragedy, tremendous show of hatred, uh, tremendous show of cowardice, and for her to go back and bring the light, for her to go back and bring love, for her to go back and share her time, her talent, as well as her treasure. I think it's just fantastic. So, Ariana Grande, big shout out to you. I think you're doing the right thing. And to the families in Manchester, as well as other families in London and UK that were affected by these other terrorist attacks on London Bridge. I think it was a London Bridge, and I believe it was a restaurant that was nearby. It's just amazing to me to think that this type of hatred is so prolific and so continual. I just, I, I just, it'd be great to have a show and not have to talk about this. It would be great to have a show to just talk about the good things in life, the wonderful things in life, the beautiful things in life, the compassionate, magnificent things in life. However, because we live in a world where there's some people who really want to push the boundaries of hatred, who want to push the boundaries of racism, who want to push the boundaries of lack of love, that we have these horrific incidents that are going on. It's just unbelievable to me. So to all the victims and their families, again, the Dr. Levi Show sends you compassion and good vibes and prayers. And of course, to the first responders who are also great heroes, we send you our love and respect. It's just too much. It's amazing to me that every week on this show, if we wanted to, we could talk about another incident somewhere in the world where hatred has been at the forefront. It's just there are no words for it. But Ariana Grande and all the other performers that were there, from Miley Cyrus and all the other people, from Pharrell, he was there also. We really, really appreciate the fact that what I'd say is there was representation of heart, there was representation of compassion and love because of this devastating event that occurred there. So to London and the mayor there and the prime minister, we here at this show, we send you our love and respect and courage, and stand tall. Stand tall. I had an email yesterday also from someone reminding me that this was the up and coming anniversary. I think it was yesterday. It's coming up actually, for the tragedy that happened in Orlando. When there were so many people there that were just slaughtered and murdered. Senselessly. Just so in my mind, I guess I'm always at this place of wondering, what can we do as human beings to remind other people to embrace their humanity, to be more loving, to be more kind, to be more caring, to be more compassionate? And I got to tell you, I'm really not sure. I don't know. You would think that in the name of religion, whatever your religion is, that there is a sense of love and kindness for other human beings. However, what we're seeing now is this intensification of hate globally. There's this intensification of xenophobia, of homophobia, of racism, of misogyny, of divisiveness. I keep asking myself, where does it end? Where does where does it stop? And I don't know. I know it makes me feel very badly. I know it makes me want to continue to do what I do so well, is to write to my Congress people, and I think that's it. I want to remind everyone, don't be silent. Let your voices be heard. Write your Congress people, write your senator, write your House representative, write the president, call. just write, do something, but don't just stand back and let these things happen. It's like yesterday, I want to share this with. I had a conversation with someone, one of my patients actually, and she asked me. She said, "What do you think about the travel ban?" And so before I answered her, I said, "Well, what do you think about it?" I said, "That is more important what you think, not what I think." And so she gave me her thoughts about it. And I told her, I said, "Well, my thoughts are very different from yours." And then guess what she told me? She said, "Well, okay, I guess I don't want to hear your thoughts," which I thought was pretty funny. So I want to share with you my thoughts about the travel ban, because that's what it is. I think anything that promotes divisiveness and lack of love and lack of acceptance for other people, I'm all against it, period. I think anything that says that a certain religion is all bad, I think that's not a good thing either. I think if you look at any religion that we have, you can always find some things that you don't agree with. Okay, that's in anything. However, to actually group a religion in and say that you don't want that specific religion in the country, there's no good in that. No, I can't. A blanket statement of all bad, could never be good. That's what I want to say. And I want to say also with this patient, she said something else to me too. I thought was really funny. So right before she asked me about the travel ban, she always likes to have these political banners with me, but I won't subject myself to it really. But she asked me earlier about another politician, and then she said to me, she said, "Well, what do black people think of that?" I said, "Well, I can't speak for all black people. I'm not all black people. I'm just one black man. I can only speak for, D. Levi Harrison." And I gave her my opinion about what she asked me about, and she said, "Well, no, that's your opinion. What about other black people? I want to know what all black people think." I said, "You have to go out and take a survey. You have to start today. You have a lot of people to talk to. You have to go and talk to them." I said, that doesn't work for me. I think it's so important people give blanket statements for a certain group, a certain race, or a sex, or sexuality, or a gender, or a transgender, and think, well, you ask that one person, then they speak for an entire group. Well, we're all very individual. So that was my response to her. And I'm bringing this up today because I'm so moved by the fact that we live in a country that is based on immigrants. Everybody in this country that I know of, in general, they're all immigrants except the Native Americans who were here before everyone else here. And we know what happened to them and the unfortunateness of the happenings to that phenomenal culture. And they still continue to be plagued with a lot of devastating economic, sociologic, and health issues, which, again, I think the country is not doing enough for them also. So I often look at the Native Americans like the veterans, actually, a very disenfranchised part of America. And isn't that crazy that the veterans who give so much, that they're mistreated and abused and thought of as being less than, which is absolutely ridiculous. And then you have Native Americans who were here first, who had their lands taken just unscrupulously, and to be thought of as less than, and to be given a certain area where they can live. I think it's ridiculous. So I guess in the ridiculousness and sublimeness of it all, I think the thing that we have to go back to is this. One, to live authentically. Two, to treat people appropriately. And three, to know and understand that everyone that we see is a reflection of ourselves, that no one's better than anybody else. Like the doctor, I'm no better than the dog walker or the teacher or the accountant or the entertainer. Everybody's the same, a human being. We all bleed red so far that I know of. So I think it's so important that we treat everyone with respect, with dignity, and with love. That's the bottom line. Now I want to also I want to get off my I guess political soapbox and talk about medicine. So let's talk about addiction. Here in America, it's thought that approximately, from some studies, about 20% of Americans at some time have used, from the ages of 12 and older, have used prescription drugs inappropriately, using them when they really weren't prescribed for them, or using maybe someone else's medicine, or maybe taking too much medicine when it wasn't appropriately prescribed for that amount of use or for that amount of time. So, an addiction comes in, there are many, many forms of addiction. And, someone can be addicted to a stimulant. They can be addicted to a painkiller. They can be addicted to something that causes them to be less anxious, like clonazepam or Ativan, benzodiazepine. I mean, there's so many areas of that. But what I want to say is I want to make some fairly broad strokes about that. And that is with respect to addiction, it's so important that if you are battling addiction, and we're going to put a number up for you for 1-800 hotline in a second. If you are battling addiction of some form, then it's so important that, number one, do not hesitate to get help. Number two, to not feel like you're less than. And number three, to not think that no one cares about you. You are cared about, but number one, care has to start with yourself. So you have to make that one step to go out to get help. So even if it's let's say alcohol abuse or smoking addiction or amphetamine abuse or heroin abuse or cocaine abuse, marijuana abuse, I go on and on and on and on and on. Whatever it is that you know that you're doing and you're doing it inappropriately and these are illegal things that you're doing, I want to say to you today to get help, to not feel bad about it, to not feel less than, to get help. And because the rest of your life is actually waiting for you. If you have an addiction, just think about how much of your life you're actually missing. How much of your life you're not actually participating in. What about the passions that you hear? You were born for greatness. You were born to do wonderful things. You were born to help the world. The world needs you. But if you have an addiction, guess what? You're playing with less than a full deck. You're playing with the glass half full instead of being completely full. You're playing with a mind that can't really grasp the wholeness and greatness of who you really are. And what I want you to do is to remember and know that, one, you matter, and number two, the world is waiting for you. With two words, game on. Come on and join us. The world wants you. Life wants you. Life needs you. But guess what? You have to get off your butt. You got to make a difference. If you just sit in a chair and say, okay, I'm not going to do anything, I'm going to keep on using, I'm going to keep on abusing, then you know what? If you do the same things, you get the same results. So if you want to make a change in your life, then of course you have to do something different. And guess what? That comes with making one step. And that one step may be simply making a phone call, making that one call to say, hey, you know what? I need help, Mom. I need help, Dad. Call your pastor, call your preacher, call your rabbi, call a church member, call a cousin, call your best friend, call a former lover, a husband, a wife, a boyfriend, a girlfriend. But reach out to somebody and get some help. Don't simply stay in the addiction and feel like the world is spinning and you can't get off, because you can. But you have to take a step. All right. So addiction is, I'm going to go into this in more detail in the upcoming show. But today I just wanted to give a broad stroke about getting help and being involved with your life. You know what? You really want to show up for your life. Why? Because you want to be the best possible version of yourself. So you want to be the best possible version of yourself psychologically, spiritually, physically, health-wise. You want to have it all because you deserve it all. So if you're not the best version of yourself physically, then guess what? Maybe you're not the best version of yourself creatively. If you're not the best version of yourself creatively, maybe you're not the best version of yourself spiritually or philosophically. I mean, there's so many levels of ourselves. We're so complex as human beings. So I guess what I'm asking you to do is one thing. And I don't think it's that difficult, but I want you to think about it, is that I want you to make a pledge to love yourself. Love you. Like I love me, and I'm working on loving me more and more every day. I want you to love you without any validation from anybody else. Not the wife, not the husband, not the boyfriend, not the girlfriend, not the mom, not the dad, the brother, the sister, the uncle, the aunt, the grandparent, the grandmother. Just love you. You can do it. It takes practice, but I tell you, once you get into the groove, it's a nice place to stay. It really, really is. I can tell you that. Now, I also want to address some issues about exercise today. So let's go over a few things. One is the issue of HIIT, high intensity interval training, which is basically CrossFit. So let's talk about that. I love CrossFit, of course, and I love exercise. And as an athlete, I want to tell you, if you are an athlete or you're an up-and-coming athlete or if you're just starting your workout program, fantastic. The goal is to just get started. Now, what I want to remind you when it comes to fitness, again, is commitment, consistency, diet, exercise, rest, recovery, meditation, mindfulness, stillness. You want to really do that. Now, high-intensity interval training, what I love about it is that it really gives you a chance to explore different heights of what your body can actually achieve and do. So, yes, I'm a fan of CrossFit, but I want to say CrossFit in moderation. I think it's important that you not only do CrossFit, but do functional fitness also. What is functional fitness? Functional fitness is, in general, is just using your body to be fit. So pull-ups, push-ups, sit-ups, squats, not using any weights, just using your body. Burpees, for example, that's my favorite exercise of all. Because the burpee, I always say the burpee is righteous. You can't cheat a burpee. People can cheat push-ups, they can cheat sit-ups, they can even cheat a squat. But a burpee, try that one. Try doing 40 of those straight without taking a break. See what happens. The burpee you cannot cheat. And I want to tell you, this weekend I had the Spartan race, the Spartan Super Race in Monterey, California, which was great. And my team and I from the Phoenix Effect Gym here in Los Angeles, we raised over $50,000 for our charity, the Alliance for Housing and Healing, which is a great charity here in LA. So if you really consider donating to them, they greatly appreciate it. So would my gym. The coaches at the Phoenix Effect, Beth Bishop and Derek Jameson and CJ Benton and Giancarlo Giannetti. I mean, just really, really wonderful people. Another guy who's there is Jefferson Hendricks. Just really great people who are really committed to having people be fit and to really live a life of fitness. Because the key with fitness is you can't store it. So you can't work out for 5 months and then stop for a month and still think you're going to be fit. It doesn't work that way. They're really about reminding everyone to live a life of fitness, embrace fitness as a lifestyle, and to really love yourself, love your body, and to make conscientious, focused choices about what you eat. Because again, you hear this almost every show, we are what we eat, drink, and smoke, period. So again, I want to remind you, if you don't buy it, you won't eat it. So be aware of what you're bringing home. So if your cabinets at home, your pantry at home, your fridge is filled with cakes and pies and cookies and yogurts and muffins and all this other stuff and a lot of white flour and white sugar and salt and soy and gluten and wheat, well, guess what? Not the best for your body. So again, the issue is moderation. But I really believe so firmly that if we don't buy these things, you will not eat them. Because why? You don't have access to them. They're not in the house. But if you're going to go out and eat a 4x4 or a 6x6 at a restaurant, this is great here at In-N-Out Burger here in L.A. They have phenomenal burgers there, But, my team and I, we know people who eat 4x4s and 6x6. This is 4 patties and 4 pieces of cheese with sauce and all this other stuff on. Then they'll have fries with cheese on them and chili on them, and then a shake. It's like, okay, how sick do you want to be? Because your arteries are saying, kill me now. Your arteries are saying, can I have a heart attack today or tomorrow? Please sign me up for a stroke. That's what it's saying. Sign me up. I want a heart attack now. Please, please, please give me one. That's what it's saying. So I want you to really be mindful of what you're eating, because it affects everything from your mind to your energy level to your libido to your overall wellness and fitness. It affects you. So if you want to be fit, you want to be healthy, you have to be mindful of what you're eating, what you're drinking, what you're smoking, what you're buying to put in your body. Everything you put in your mouth, you have to think, okay, now, is this nutritional? Is this good? Are these calories that I need? Is this something that my body will benefit from? Or, I tell you, one of my office managers who's so wonderful, and she's on her journey, which is great. We were talking one day, and she said to me, right now, Dr. Levi, the thing I think about when I'm eating is, how long will I have to be at the gym to work this out if I eat this? I thought that was so brilliant. I love that statement because it's one of awareness. She was basically saying, okay, if I eat this, then I know if I do this, then the consequence will be that, and then I will have to do that to eliminate the consequence of what I did. So you want to be aware of that because a healthy body is a healthy body. And a body that doesn't exercise, by definition, it cannot and will not be healthy. It cannot. So if you want sustained health, then you have to be mindful of your diet and we have to exercise. It's just that simple, period. Now, I want to talk about E3. E3 is next week, next Wednesday. I will be there with me and my awesome team with Janet and A-Rod, Aaron Price. We'll be there. And we're going to do a meet and greet right outside the area at about 12 noon, from 12 to 2:30, 3 o'clock next Wednesday. So I hope you can join us. We had our big Twitch broadcast this weekend. We tried something different. We usually do Saturday at 7 p.m., but this time we did Sunday at 12 noon just to see if that would be better for the overall audience globally. Because we have people that listen to the show, the Twitch TV broadcast, from Finland, from Iceland, from England, from Canada, from South Africa, from France and Germany. So there's always that 8 to 9 hour plus difference. So we're trying to do something to really incorporate a time that will work for everyone in a way that, someone's, here in America listening is at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. However, somewhere in the UK, or let's say 7 o'clock here in the UK, then it's 3, 4 in the morning or something. We just wanted to do something that would be more convenient for everyone globally. So we're gonna try a different time. Next time we're gonna try maybe Saturday at 10 a.m. So that's on our agenda to come up soon for the next show, to do 10 a.m. on a Saturday versus the 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So we'll keep you informed about that. But more importantly, what I want to share is that E3 next week, that'll be really wonderful, of course. So we'll get a chance to see everyone there. And I'm looking forward to that. I mean, I love that event. And, we wanted to do something different this year with the E3 because we were there last year. So this year we're going to be there. We want to just do the meet and greet and talk to people and see what's on your mind. We want to know about videos that you like us to produce. We want to talk to our OSU family also because we just put out a video on OSU. So if you get a chance, please check that out. I believe it's doing really well also. Most of our videos, I'm really happy that are in production and that they continue to really thrive and do well. So we really appreciate everyone's support. And I want to really thank you again for subscribing, liking, and following us on all our social media platforms, from IG to Facebook to YouTube to Twitter, of course, Twitch TV. Really, really happy about that. Because the goal with everything that we're doing really is to maintain the overall health of the gamers and eSport athletes. That's our goal. That's my goal. We're working on some major things right now with other companies that I'll let you know when things are signed and ready to move forward because I'm really excited about them, but I can't talk about them just yet. But when everything is signed and the ink is dried, we have some explosive news for you. And when I say explosive, I really mean phenomenal. So I'm really just happy about the future. I'm really happy about what's going forward. Now, I tell you, there's one other thing I wanted to bring up to. Someone last week made me promise that I would talk about this. So, and I'm going to. So this is a total side note here, and that is about what do you do? And she asked me this very intensely. She said, what do you do when you are offended or taken advantage of by people that you really like or love, being friends or families or someone you're in a relationship with? And she was so sincere about it. So I gave her my response. And she said, promise me you're going to talk about this on the radio show. And first I said, well, we talk about a lot of other things. I said, I can maybe talk about it. Excuse me. I said, maybe I can talk about it during the show that we're talking about relationships. She said, really, no. Can you please talk about it next week? Because some friends and I are going to be listening, and I want them to hear what you're sharing with me. I didn't think it was really that special, but I gave my word that I would, so I have to talk about it. So when she asked me that, the response I gave was the following: is when we're in relationships with people, be it family or friends or people we may know well, when they offend us, it's so important that you do your best to, number one, minimize the hurt or pain of what they're doing. And you do that the following way. Now, I'll tell you what I do, and I'll tell you what I told her. And that is, I never have expectations of other people. My dad was great about reminding me about that. I never have expectations of people. So if they keep their word, I'm grateful and I'm happy. It's like, good. If someone doesn't keep their word, then I'm not surprised. People do that. And now I want to share that with you because I want to tell you about an incident I recently had in business. So I told her that. I said, I think when people offend you, often they will do it because of one of several reasons, I believe. One, because they're intentionally trying to hurt you. Two, because they don't know they're hurting you. It's really a mistake. And third, there's a subconscious reason that they want to hurt you, but they're not really sure of. And fourth, I shared with her, they're doing it because they don't feel good about themselves, so they want you to feel less than. And then the fifth I told her is that it's a form of bullying. Sometimes people want to hurt you to see, can you take it? Are you strong enough to stand tall and go forward? Or will you fall and not be able to get up? So, and as my grandmother would say, only the strong survive. So I think when it comes to relationships and when people offend us, number one, one of the 4 agreements by Juan Miguel Ruiz is really take nothing personally. And then the one I would add to that is have no expectations of people. And third, no matter what someone tries to do to you, remember, often it's not about you at all. It's about them and their own internal issues that are going on that they're reflecting on you. So I think it's best to just bounce it back and let them know that, nah, I won't accept that. No, I won't let you speak to me that way. No, I love myself more, and I have to leave the situation, so I can't let you treat me like I am less than. That's what's so very, very, very important. When people are treating you that way, you have to really step away and say, you know what? I can't let you talk to me like that. I can't let you treat me that way. Or if you feel like you're always calling someone and they're not calling you, well, guess what? As my mother would say, the phone works both ways. So if someone's not calling you, then maybe you don't want to call them. Don't let anyone make you feel like you're less than. You are great. You are awesome. You are amazing. You matter. You count. You are worthy. So if someone doesn't see the worth of you, then that's on them. What's more important is that you see your own self-worth, that you look in the mirror and say, hey, I love me, all of me, every wrinkle, every gray hair, or in my case, no hair, but I love all of me, all of it. So when I get up in the morning, when I'm in the shower, and I'm like, wow, it's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great day, Levi Harrison. Yep. Everything's going to work out for my greater good. And I say that because it's really about understanding that everything and everyone that shows up in your life, they're teaching us, and we're teaching them. So as we grow from them, hopefully they're growing from us. But also, we have to be big enough sometime to say, you know what? Damn, that's not working for me. You have to say, I got to let you go so I can be the best version of myself. And when we do that, I think we really grow into a sense of who we really are, and that we really matter, and that our lives matter. And our lives matter without anybody else. Because as we all know, we come into this beingness of ourselves alone. And guess what? When you die alone. So the key here is that knowing that you come in by yourself, enjoy your own company. Love all of you. If no one's calling you to go to the movies, go by yourself. If no one's sending you flowers and chocolate, go pick up some flowers, chocolate for yourself. Love all of you. Don't expect validation from anybody else. And remember, no one's going to love you the way you love yourself. They don't have that capacity. They don't. They're trying to love themselves. Most people are not even trying to love themselves. Many, I believe, are trying to just find themselves, trying to find who they are, what their passions are, how they want to live. They're actually searching for themselves. So imagine if you're on a mission searching for who you are, and you meet someone and she's searching for who she is, and you come together with her, you're both on this mission of searching, well, that might be tough if you think that they're going to complete you. They're trying to complete themselves. So remember, people compliment us, but they don't complete us. You're a complete, unique, self-sustaining, independent entity without anybody else. Just feel that, believe it, and know it. And love all of you. Love all of you. Why not? It's so easy. I don't have any difficulty loving myself. I don't have any difficulty saying, hey, Levi, you're doing the right thing. And at the same time, I don't have any problem saying, hey, Levi, you didn't do the right thing. You didn't speak to that person properly. You didn't say thank you. You didn't say, I appreciate you. You didn't say, I'm grateful for you. And you know what? I go back and I correct it. So I think we have to be big enough to correct our own crap, and we have to be big enough to love ourselves completely also. We have to love the darkness that we have as well as the light that we have. And then, of course, we have to have the hope that the light will overshadow the darkness. That's what we want to do. It's loving all of ourselves and loving other people. And remember, too, people that we're in relationship with, we're not there to change them. We're there to help them be the best version of themselves, and they're there to help us, hopefully, be the best versions of ourselves. That's really it. So if you have someone, when you're around them, that they lift you up, that you feel good about it, that it's like you can't wait to see them. You want to talk to them, you want to love them, you want to love on them, you want to laugh with them, then that's what it's about. But if you're in a relationship with someone who makes you feel less than, who doesn't really float your boat, basically, who doesn't lift you up, who's always tearing you down, then guess what? You may want to think about, I could do better by myself. I can love me by myself. Why not? Because you've been with you all your life. And guess what? You take you wherever you go. You take you. You may not take anyone else, but you definitely take you. So really something to think about. And I hope that gives some clarity. You know, when I was talking to this person the other day, and she made me promise to bring that up. So I just wanted to talk about relationships and how important it is to know that when someone hurts you, it's number one, forgive them and release it. Number two, feel good about yourself. And number three, to not have any stress about it. And to know that everything is for a reason. It's all about giving you growth and giving you an understanding of who you are. And also, of course, it's the challenge of life. Life is about these challenges of getting better every day and growing from every situation. That's the ticket. It really is about that. Now today I want to tell you, we're gonna bring on our guest shortly, who we're gonna really, really love and appreciate. We're one of his biggest fans here on the show. You know, we feel like he is, we call like this genius, brilliant artist that the world is just waiting for. Period. They're just waiting for him. You know, he is a guy that puts the A in authenticity. He's a guy that puts the G in genius. He's a guy that puts the M in magnificent. He's the guy that can spit out a rap at any time and lift you up. He's the guy that just came out with a new CD that has dropped. I'm going to let him talk about, because we want to know what inspired him to do what he's doing, and also to hear about what brought him to this place of really self-realization, whereby he's made his current music is so intensely personal. His current music is really about him giving us a snapshot into his life as a human being, his snapshot into his life of who he is, what his spirit is about, and how he wants to serve the world. It's a very personal piece, so we hope you go out and buy it. I'm going to let him tell you about it. It's a piece that really expresses the genius of who he is, and that he knows and understands that he stands on he stands on the shoulders of giants, and those giants are people that have helped to bring him to where he can express himself fully and feel good about it, and not think that he has to have, again, as we talked about before, doesn't need this validation from anyone else. Once he knows that he's done he's put in 100%, then his 100% is all that he needs to do. And he's doing that really, really well. So I want to tell you about this guest, and then I'm going to let him talk to you about where he is, why he dropped this newest CD, and more importantly, what brought him to this place, what I call this epiphany, because his music is really about bringing the light of his soul out to the world. I mean, he bears it all. He does it in a way which is full of class, full of it's cathartic, it's filled with pathos, it's filled with love, and it's filled with, hey, here I am, this is all of me. Take it or leave it, but this is all of me. So I want to welcome to the show right now Mr. Phenomenal himself, Master Blaster rapper, Mr. Gabriel Cannon. Welcome, Gabriel.
You was talking about me?
Yeah, brother, I was talking about you, man.
I was like, where is this guy
Yes,
at? Like,
man.
it's an amazing dude. How you doing?
How you doing,
First
brother?
wanna apologize
Oh, no,
for
we're
being
happy that
late,
you're here, man. We're happy that it's right on time.
Wow.
How are you doing? How's life?
I'm blessed, man. I'm absolutely blessed, man. Just hearing you talk, man, it's like I don't think I've ever been described like.
Oh, well, you should have been.
You always do that.
You should have been.
You got to be on the album, man.
You
Like, you gotta
I'll do
open
the next one.
album
I'll
up,
do it
man.
for you next time, brother. I'll do
Oh,
some spoken
that'll
word
be
for
dope.
you.
That'll
I'll
be
do that
dope.
for you.
You have to.
Well, tell me about yourself, Gabriel, because the last time you were here was about a year ago or so, and you were one of our first guests on the show, which
was my
really
birthday,
phenomenal.
too.
It sure was. I didn't know you were going to remember that.
That's monumental,
It
man.
sure
The
was.
balloon, like-
Yeah, exactly right, man.
I watched that interview so many times.
Did you
Like,
really?
okay, I got to do that different.
I'm
I
glad-
talk too much right
No,
here.
you were great. You were
Yeah.
absolutely great, man. So I want to hear about your drive now over the last year that brought you to this place to release this music. So I want to hear what brought you there.
Okay, so I guess we left off last time where, I went to the Bible college.
Exactly.
And, my thing was coming back to Hollywood.
Right.
And,
With all
finding-
of you.
Absolutely.
Right.
And internally is
Yes.
one thing, like to, have that made up, and then to express that and put that into words is something totally different.
Absolutely.
Like, you know what I mean? And actually surrendering music. Like,
Yes.
You know what I mean? I told God literally, like, man, if this not for me, I know I've been, if you didn't call us to be like Big Bro, like,
Right.
we don't, I'm willing to give.
Right.
And
You're in that place of true spiritual and physical and mental surrender.
absolutely. And just respecting what it was, like, as it was revealed to me what true surrender was. And
Yes.
it's like, okay, that sacrifice,
Right.
and he was like, pick it back up.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like last time I was here, I was just getting back in the studio
Right.
and really not knowing what it was. Like, you know what I mean? How do you tell the truth about everything
Exactly.
and make it cool?
And make it personal.
Make it personal.
And make it authentic.
And make it catchy.
Correct.
Like,
yes.
you know what I mean? Make it relatable. Make it like, and I still don't have the answer to that,
But you're on the journey.
well, learning to trust
Yes.
is beautiful, because it's like the responsibility of the outcome is not yours. Like, even
Correct.
with the song Bow My Head, check it out. It's on iTunes, Spotify,
Right,
all that.
right.
But even with it's not my responsibility no more.
Right.
I was responsible to surrender the gift to God.
Yes.
And use the gift. Now, the gift is now I can't say that I got to slack and not do the promotion.
No, you got to do the work.
But if God wanted to be the #1 song ever, there's
Right.
nothing I could do. There's
No.
nothing no man could do to stop it.
Nobody.
Like, and if he wanted it just to touch one person, like,
Right.
I'm gonna have to write a book next. Like,
Correct,
you know what
correct,
I mean? Like,
correct.
And but being okay with that, being okay with whatever's next, if it's from you and you say it's for me, it's mine. Like,
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
the contrary to that was, the lifestyle before. Everything was borrowed. Whether it was a car, whether it was, it didn't belong to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like my grandfather said, you never see a hearse. A U-Haul truck behind a hearse.
That's
like,
a true statement.
You'll never see it because it really doesn't belong to
Correct.
you. Like, somebody, when you get up out of here, like that day, somebody gonna be like, who got the car? Like,
Right.
you know what
Yes.
I mean? Like, I've
Yes.
seen it recently.
Yes.
With my grandfather just passing, and even with
Sorry
that,
to hear
like,
that.
looking at the business, man, it broke my heart that, Nick, my grandfather was instrumental in raising, him. Then when my dad went off to college, like, because, he was signed to America's Got Talent.
Right.
Like, he couldn't even make his grandfather's funeral. His hands was tied. Like, his best friend, like, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like, he couldn't even because of this entertainment world. And then a few months later, they trying to give him the axe. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like, to see what really matters, man.
Right.
To see, even with Nick again, to see, last time I seen him, he was in the hospital. Like, and it's like, yo, that's Superman. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
What's going on? It's and it's not nothing money could do. It's not nothing.
Right.
And to see his vulnerability, like,
Right.
he's always gonna be my big brother. But
Always.
to see that he's unsure about his own life, like, you know what I mean? And
What is it like for you when you see your brother Nick Cannon extremely successful, and you look at him as a role model? Does his success give you this internal drive to just keep moving and build your life?
Absolutely.
Not in a competitive way, but in a way of saying, wow, my brother inspires me to be my best. He inspires me to go deep and to be real and to give all that I can through my own genius.
Well, because, you're so close, you get to see what it really is. Like, you get to see that, it's not because he's a master at this, you know what I mean? It's not because, it's because he believed. Like, you know what I mean? Whatever it was, he truly believed. Like, I remember Nick was the guy around the house, like, man, if you don't go sit down, like, he always got a little boom box or a joke, and it's just like, coming up, like, he's the one who's always talking all the time. Like, isn't it? And then you realize, like, hold on, he's getting $1 million checks for that now. Like, you know, and it just shows that belief. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even if I was talking to somebody the other day, it's like, everybody who's around you who, when you up, they with you, and when you down, they don't want nothing to do.
We just had this conversation earlier this morning.
Oh, right.
We just talked about that.
And the ending of that was, those are the same people who can literally say, I was always there.
Correct.
Because they were. Like, yeah, you was there. You was hating like a mug, but
right.
It's true. Like, you know what I mean?
It is true.
And even though they going to pick their sides, a lot of people, they'll keep you down just so they can feel like they're doing okay. You know what I mean? And it's like,
many will.
Yeah. And so even with the music, like, back to the it's just like, what can we say that matters?
Right. And for you, for this for Bow My Head, what would you say is your favorite cut of that?
I mean, the first few lines is I feel is the rawest. I know a lot of people kind of miss it, but I feel it's like.
Can you spit that for us?
Yeah, it's the first two lines is there heaven for a G? Is there? Well, I wrote that line because if you know Tupac, like, he's always asked that question. Like, I wonder if heaven got a ghetto. Like, is there a good place for tainted people?
Right.
And so just taking in that opening line, but almost even with what he did in his legacy.
Yes.
Kind of taking it a step further, because I feel like even Tupac, like, he was right there. Like,
he was.
That brother was alive and was able to keep studying it.
He was in it.
And it's just like they cut it short. But even with the line, it's like, okay, take it the next step. His question, is there a heaven for a G?
Right.
Okay, I ain't this gangster dude, but I'm probably just as dirty. Like, you know what I mean? And so the next line is there a section for me? One who knew the whole truth, like admitting, like, I've always known the truth.
Right.
Like, I can't remember not knowing God exists. Like, but the next line is one who knew the whole truth, but still played in the streets. So it's like, hey, God, like, man, I knew you was real. I did what I wanted to do, but can I get in?
Right.
And that's almost our prayer every day. Like, you know what I mean? And for me, it's just the realest, because it's like every step of the way, I knew that. I mean, man, I back in the world, man, before I would sleep with a girl, man, I would pray.
Right.
Like, Lord, like, I know, but just have my back, man. Like, especially if you ain't got the protect. Like, Lord, don't let me. You know what I mean? And it's like, I used to be convicted. Like, yo, man, you playing with God. Like, and then He showed me, like, nah, like, everything you prayed, it happened. Right?
And tell me this, Gabriel. What do you think for you has been the most monumental thing that has happened to you to get you to this place of self-understanding?
Brokenness.
So being at the bottom to build yourself up. What do you mean by that? Broken.
If you look at God, like, you know, in his character, well, what he's revealed to us, he almost pushes people to that point of brokenness, of surrender. Brokenness and surrender is almost synonymous because it's dependency. You're not dependent on yourself. Like,
so you're saying sort of like the trials of Job, for example, how Job was extremely broken. He was broken down.
Imagine the day before, like
right.
You got the land, you got the people,
you got
like
everything,
the kids, and you almost like you call the shots. Like right. If somebody need to fix the problem, they coming to you. Like right. Yo, he knows the solution, and the next day you can't figure out what just happened to your children. Like you know what I mean?
Right.
Like you actually start questioning yourself, and you know we've all done it. Like, is God really there? Like you know what
exactly.
I mean? Like, is that for real? I know I believe it. I know I seen the fruit, but are you with me right now?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
And I think that's when we know the closeness of, I think when it comes to spirituality, of what our faith will sustain, not on the highs, but on the lows. You know, not on top of the hill. When you're in the valley, I think when you're in the valley, that's when it gives you a chance to really go through the expression of saying, okay, who am I really, and what really sustains me to be a better me and to be a better man?
That's the only time you probably really even ask that question. I say ask. I'm from North Carolina.
We got it, brother.
Ask that question.
We got it, man.
In that context, because like if you have everything you need, like you can't really even ask yourself honestly. Like, you know, you could be nice to everybody when you got a lot, but if you got two left, would you give?
Can you give one?
You ain't even in that situation, that mentality.
Right. To think that.
I used to tell Nick back in the day, not that he's very generous, but like, man, I'm hungry, man. Like, and he did not understand what it meant to like not have. Like, you've been doing this since 17. Like, you know, in his perspective is totally different.
It's very
like,
different.
He don't live in that world. Like
it's a different world. It's not the world of struggle that many people have. It's just different. But I also think too, many people of what I call of status or celebrity, they may not have the struggles of the day-to-days of food, but they got other struggles. Oh, yeah. The ones that are spoken and the ones that are unspoken.
Sometimes I think the food struggles is a lot better because on that, like, you know, and I pray, and Nick is just so, like, wise beyond his years how he handles it, but it's like, imagine being the it person, right? Imagine sitting with your father or somebody, and your manager turns and says, yo, you're going to have to listen to me or your father.
Right.
Your dad's truth is, I can't get my son no movie, bro. Like,
right.
You know,
who do you listen to?
He has to listen to him. So for my son to reach his dreams, or my daughter or my child to reach, I have to put them in the hands of somebody else who can take them somewhere.
Who is competent, who has that ability to do that.
So imagine being that artist. If your mother tell you a year later, like, yo, I can't, I don't think they're good people. I don't think they have your best. You might actually tell your mom, listen, Mom, you see that Benz outside? You need to go sit down somewhere because we know Johnny has been getting us this. And you leave your first love because, I mean, it's really no reason, but it's like, who wants to go back? Like, how do you go from being on top to then working well?
Yeah, I got you.
It's impossible. Like, you'll be embarrassed for the rest of your life. Like,
it changes people's thoughts.
Yeah.
But I think if you're in a place of surrender, you know what, speaking of surrender, I wanted to try to take a call or two. I don't think we're going to have time. I wanted to take a call or two today to let you speak to Mr. Cannon. I don't know if that's going to happen. We're kind of light on time, but we apologize. We'll have to have Nick back, of course. Have Nick back. We'll have to have Nick one day. We'll have to have Gabriel back again.
If we keep doing the show, like, because last time we're gonna cut all those together and just put them
one thing together, exactly.
Yeah, that'd be dope, though.
We can definitely do that.
That'd be dope.
So I wanted you all to experience Gabriel because he has so much to say, and he has just a wealth of life experience about being an entertainer, being the brother of Nick Cannon, but more importantly, being the self-made creative man that he is. You know, someone who has this life of spirituality. So if you wanted to call in for like a quick 30-second call, we can try to take you, but I don't know if we'll be able to do it today, and I apologize. Let's tell people about the album, Nick. How can they, Nick, if I say Nick one more time, Gabriel?
Good. I mean, you see riches around.
I do see it. I see it on you, brother.
Hey,
I do.
Hey, God
I
is
do.
Good. God is
So
good.
how can they access your music
You
now?
could get. I actually only put out a single, and I appreciate everybody who's like supporting. And
we're gonna support
like,
you.
Absolutely.
We're gonna
I
support
appreciate.
you.
I mean, even the platform of being here to do it.
Grateful.
I put out the single, man, because he said go.
Right.
He said go. I was absolutely nervous. Like, I mean, even making a stance like this, you're almost setting yourself up. Like, I put on Facebook the other day, like, yo, I heard when you make a stance for Christ, for Christ, that the devil takes the gloves off. But I'm here to tell you
Very
that.
powerful statement.
Yeah, I'm here to tell you that. Nah, he don't just take the gloves off. He grabs nuclear weapons and he's seeking mass destruction. Like, he's already had the gloves off because we exist, because for some reason God keep giving them breath. Like, but now you standing, really? Oh, now you don't like my fruits? It's
wow.
like, yeah. So
that's powerful. Powerful,
yeah,
Gabriel.
It's scary, man.
Well, I gotta tell people, you gotta join Gabriel Cannon. How can they reach you on Instagram, Facebook,
Instagram,
YouTube?
Gabriel Cannon Music. Facebook, Gabriel Cannon. You'll see it. The fro. You'll see
great hair, no hair. Just remember, hair, no hair. So please go out and check out his music, Bow My Head.
Bow My Head.
And I think it's really a great creative work by a really phenomenal artist. And I believe that his star is just beginning to rise and shine even brighter and higher. I really believe that. So all I can tell him is get ready, because life is grabbing him and it's on right now. Well, this is Dr. Levi. I want to thank Gabriel for being with us today, and I'll see you guys back next week. Remember, be kind to other people, and remember that it's all about love. Nobody's better than no one else. We all bleed red. Be kind to everyone. No divisiveness. All about love and compassion and acceptance. It's Dr. Levi. See you soon.
Amen.
Bye.